And we took a little bit of Kalanjini Tagat and Cast TV, the corner office, and Betunot and Nebo Raini, and Leg Mess with Kenyurun, Alalet not and Nebo again, CEO, not and Nebo and the Turk or original could missing in Coinda, Yagindi, Kewale, Gutit Kitin gave Kisoli and a cooking Geresa, as we get in like Kini, Kotam Gatiatan, Basco, getting a table that I got to go in social media pages, Jaget, and Casafam, and Cast TV. So with kora geger tebuti nata ni much itinya en witugul elemi kunatan ketinya geljin kimitan about CEO na inandat ko indochin anan a professor ago CEO natan nebo Council of Legal Education CLE kunatan maraki so manen gazeti gera wa CLE ago maratomi guyo gon missing mandate ak paisoni karanchi ay hoteljin ala karanchi bom so manet natan nebo negi ne teleljing alaga ogil notet anan ngalaga ranche namege ak legal matters kunotan ke walle gotiten guni kayna nyon ko Stanley Abore ke walle gabe kisoli na ko kingereza so bit keresa ngatinatan welcome to Cast TV.
Thank you so
Prof,
much.
Good to have you today on set. Maybe just to start off, you start us off. I don't know, use Kiswahili or Kingereza?
I think we can mix.
We can mix, yeah, correct, because we're simply having conversation. Now, maybe just introduce yourself to our viewers, and then we proceed from there. Welcome.
Thank you so much, and we are delighted to join you at CAS FM. My name is Jack Mwimali. I'm the Secretary and the CEO to the Council of Legal Education. The Council of Legal Education is a parastatal. It's a public institution established under the Legal Education Act, an act of parliament that confers it with its mandate and determines the role, powers, and functions that the institution has.
So maybe for someone who coming across today about CLE, the mandates or what does it deal with?
Now, Council of Legal Education, it has a very diverse and broad mandate. It is established in the Legal Education Act itself, which provides for a structure of enhancing and improving the quality of legal education, and it then tasks CLE to do that. How does it then do it? Number one, CLE accredits through licensing legal education provider. If there is a school, a college, a university, whatever the name it comes by, that wants to offer legal education in the country, it is required to get license from the Council of Legal Education. And let me pause to hasten that license does not preclude that institution from the requirement that they be accredited as education providers. So in many cases, if I may put it in Swahili, lazima uende kwa Commission of University Education, were sanctioned or mandated to provide education. So in many cases, it will be a university. Say, for example, University of Nairobi, Moi University, inataka kuanzisha a legal education program, and that legal education program would be in the nature of maybe a diploma in law, a degree in law, or even a postgraduate degree in law, so master's, PhD. Before you start that program, then you need to come to the Council of Legal Education. We have a format that we will review the application that you make. If we are satisfied that they meet the quality standards that we have established in the respective regulations, then we will license you to offer that program. So quite a number of programs, and we do gazette those programs every year, I think twice every year, so that you know which universities, which institutions have the license to provide legal education, so that we do not have masqueraders. That's the first work that we do. But secondly, we are also an examination provider. We do examine those who have now qualified with a law degree, who want then to turn from being just lawyers to be advocates. For you to practice in Kenya, you must be admitted as an advocate of the High Court
of Kenya. Yes.
And that admission process begins with an examination we call Advocates Training Program examination. You go to Kenya School of Law, Kenya School of Law is set up by a different framework. There's a Kenya School of Law Act.
In fact, I wanted to ask that, so it's good you delve into it, yes.
So there's a Kenya School of Law Act. Okay. That act establishes the Kenya School of Law. And the Kenya School of Law then trains you. So you are admitted there, you undertake the training. But the Kenya School of Law does not examine you. It's the Council of Legal Education, CLE, that then sets that exams, that exam, administer the examination, marks the exam, and certify you if you have passed to then be admitted as an advocate. So that's the second role that we play. We are an examining body for those who wish to be admitted as advocates. After you have done that, then we gazette you as having qualified. There are 9 units that we examine in. And if you pass all the 9 units, we gazette you, then you petition the Chief Justice to be admitted as an officer of the court, as an advocate of the High Court of Kenya. The third one, we also mandated to recognize foreign qualification for purposes of admission. So if you come from, say, UK, India, South Africa, and you have done your law degree there, and we want to know whether that degree is equivalent to the law degree in Kenya that we have accredited or certified, then you must apply to us for us to look at your papers, satisfy yourself that the program, including the courses that you have undertaken, are equivalent to what is required, and therefore you can then join the ATP. In the same instance, you can also come as a practitioner. You have been practicing in the US as an advocate. You have been practicing in the US, they call them attorneys or counsels. You may have come from UK as a solicitor or barrister. They have 2 categories of practitioners in the UK. And you want to now be admitted as an advocate in Kenya. Again, you must come to us to review the qualifications and determine whether you can be exempted from the ATP program and be admitted as an advocate. So that's the third mandate that we have, recognition of foreign qualification for purposes of admission to the bar in Kenya. We are also advisors of government in regard to policies related to quality of legal education. So we regularly do report to government, give opinions to government on issues concerning legal education and training in Kenya for purposes of improving the quality of legal education. So in summary, you can see we have a broad mandate. We are regulators, but at the same time we are examiners. So we look at our mandate in that dual space, as regulators and as examiners, all for the purpose of assuring that the people who are admitted as advocates to practice in Kenya have the required qualification, training, and also ability to represent people in the legal processes.
Absolutely. In terms of, you've talked about credibility in terms of the bar exams, and as a CLE, what have you done to make sure like this one is taken into consideration, to have the best lawyers, best advocates around? Yes.
Now, when we do set the examinations, we have a very robust system. Number one, the entity itself is not, it's relatively small. We have about 42 employees. We do not have all the skill sets that are required, for example, in setting. But even if we did, we would want the diversity of the legal practice in Kenya to be represented during that examination process. Here we are talking about some of those who qualify become judges. They join the bench. Some of them go into public service, maybe at the Attorney General's office, maybe at the Directorate of Public Prosecutions. They may even go to Parliament and county assemblies as clerks, because there is legal requirements for office holders in certain areas that they need to be advocates. And of course, there is the legal practitioners, those who practice as advocates in the High Court. They represent clients. So when we set the exams, we bring in service providers from this broad range of interested parties. We have judges and magistrates setting. We have practicing advocates. We have people from Parliament, people from the Office of the Director of Public Prosecution, people from the Office of the Attorney General. And in many cases, to guarantee that the quality of examination is up to par, we have more than one paper set. So you'll have, for example, in one unit, people, a practicing advocate, a judge, a prosecutor setting, say if it is in criminal law. So that at the end of it, you have the diversity of legal practice in that paper that has been set. After they have set, we have, again, from the same pot, but different groups of people coming in to mark. And even before marking, there are those who come in to moderate, to ensure that, because sometimes when you set, you know exactly what you are asking, but it may not be clearly conveyed to the person that you are asking. So you bring in a third party as a moderator and as a peer reviewer to review, are these questions making sense? Can they be improved? Are they clearly understood? And then after that quality assurance process, we then administer that paper. We have centers, including the Kenya School of Law and other centers that we use for the examinations to be done. After they have done, again, we bring in a different set of persons, not those who set, not those who moderated, examiners, but now those who are just coming to mark. Now, a challenge would arise if you do that, because maybe the expectation of the person who taught at the Kenya School of Law is different from the expectation of the person who set the paper, and is different from the person who is marking. So what we do, we have a process where we allow the markers. Again, we use a conveyor belt system. You don't mark all the questions. Yes, we allow one person to mark a question, then another person to mark another question, so that even if you feel Mwimali is too hard, then you'll have it moderated by having another person also marking question number 2, and you are required to do 3 questions and so forth. That way, then we guarantee and assure that we have actually done it in a manner that then represents the quality of what examination has been done. But even before they start marking, they have to sit down, review the questions, and we allow them to even address it before they sing the marking guide. What do you feel? Because you are putting yourself in the position of that student who was examined. How would you answer it as an examiner, as a marker?
The expectations.
And then after you have done that, you develop a now separate marking guide without getting the one from the setter.
From the setter. Oh.
So in that expectation, you say, oh, in this from this question, this is probably what would be expected of a candidate. After you have done that, then we give you the marking guide from the setter.
The setter, yes.
Now, you consolidate it, because there are expectations of the setter, but those are other expectations that may not have been conveyed by the setter, but you think it clearly comes out of the question that has been examined.
So you moderate the same, like I can say, you call it marking scheme.
The marking scheme, yes.
From the setter,
yes.
And the person
yes.
Doing the marking, absolutely. And Prof, you mentioned something on, let's say, someone coming from South Africa, someone coming from UK to Kenya.
Yeah.
And then you mentioned it well, that you will relook and then advise. So in case maybe the qualification is a bit lower than maybe the standard set in Kenya, what will happen with that person, or that lawyer, or that individual? Like, must that person go back to Kenya School of Law, or how do you go about it?
Now,
yes.
That's a very important question, because we have scenarios, and I'll give a scenario where you have left Kenya maybe in Form 2, have not done Form 4, but you went to an institution where you upgraded yourself, and therefore joined the university under a different system. In the Legal Education Act, there is a requirement that you must have scored a certain grade, especially in the languages, English or Kiswahili, because that's the nature of legal practice. You need to be able to communicate, and if you have not passed English or Kiswahili, then it means you are not able to effectively communicate. You may have then gone to another country, but because they don't have similar requirements, with the with the qualifications that you have, you go and you are admitted there. So when you come, number one, we'll subject your application for equation of your qualification to the legal education program in Kenya, and we'll ask ourselves, would you have been able to join the program here? I know that has been very onerous because you may have gone to Harvard. You may not have met the exact criteria for joining University of Nairobi, but somehow Harvard, Oxford, Yale has accepted you, and you come back and we subject you back to the pre-qualification. However, that's very useful for purposes of ensuring that in terms of the basic minimum qualification, everybody is aware that they are required to have certain qualifications to do the exam. Now, after we have done that, we now review the curriculum, and we have a list of the universities, and we'll also see whether those universities are accredited in their respective institutions. We work very closely with the Kenya National Qualification Authority and the Commission for University Education, because again, that university must have been accredited, and we can identify that from the databases and from the collaboration we have with CUE, the Commission for University Education, and the Kenya National Qualification Authority. If it is equivalent to the qualification in Kenya, then we ask ourselves a third question: have you done all the core units that are required to be done for purposes of admission to the Advocates Training Program at Kenya School of Law? Because you won't come and straight away you are admitted. You will have to go to Kenya School of Law with that degree. Now, in many cases, you'll find a candidate may have a valid degree recognized by the country from which they come, and of course equivalent recognition is given through a Commission for University Education and Kenya National Qualification Authority. We have no problem with that. But the law does require that you must have done 16 core units at the university, including, of course, the basics laws like constitutional law, laws of contract, laws of torts, those elementary commercial laws, including certain elements of commercial laws that we must see whether it has been done in it, trust and equity. There are quite a number of programs that are required to have been done at undergraduate level. So you may find a situation that person has his qualification, but they have not done all these units. In that case, we also accredit or license institutions to offer the remedial courses. At the moment, it's RIARA that has applied and we have certified, but we also encouraging and welcoming other institutions to offer that remedial class. They just need to apply to us, and then we license them, so that in case you come, you may have done 14 of the 16 units. You still need to do 2 more so that you are qualified to join. So you go for those remedial, for those 2 units that you have not done at that institution, and if you pass them, then together with now your degree, you're able to be admitted at the Kenya School of Law to do the bar exams.
Okay. Maybe, Prof, before we take a break, if we still have a minute, okay. In terms of the application, you mentioned about the application, so you apply and then they look at, so I wanted to understand the turnaround in terms of time. Like it will take maybe, let's say 1 month, 2 months, then you get the accreditation, or does it go?
No, we have automated that process, and it's part of our quality assurance systems. Actually, in our service charter, we are required, I think, within 48 hours to have responded to you. So you do your application online, we review your application. In many cases, in the 48 hours, we'll tell you we have received and we are working on it. Of course, in the form of working on it, you know, we have to consult Commission for University Education. We have to consult the Kenya National Qualification Authority if need be. Because if you're coming from a university, for example, Oxford, that we clearly know because we have previously admitted people from that university under guidance from CUE, we don't have to go and ask them, have they? The only thing we may ask them, because you may find an institution who started, say, in 2010,
yes.
and you come with a degree from 2005, and in 2005 they were not offering that degree. Or you may even come from an institution that at the time you did were offering that degree, but recently they have stopped offering those degrees. So we will also consider those factors. So it doesn't mean that if your university went under after you had already started, that will prevent you. We look at it at the point in time. If that institution was offering that degree and it was permitted or accredited to do so at that time that you did, then we consider it, we process it, and we give you the certification. But again, I'll hasten to say, in terms of turnaround, we work very closely with Kenya School of Law because we know the admission timelines. Normally, they have the admissions in January. They open their portals in sometimes in September. So within that period of time, we work to ensure that we are able to give you the necessary clearances so that then you can join Kenya School of Law. Absolutely. So sometimes if you apply in January, it may not, even if we give you that certification, then it may not be used until September. Yeah. But I'll hasten to say, you see, it is better you apply early because we may find that you need to do the remedial classes and it may need a whole semester, 3 months, before then you come back to us with the remedial class for the units that you didn't do in your foreign university, which then you need to do. So we work within the service charter that we have as an organization, and that service charter is one that is intended to ensure that we give also quality service to the public.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Professor. So much to discuss on this program. Kuna rajita kalenji kimocha mitkebe break. Gongit nye tepu tayatuli muchi ya kwechu in Facebook and CAS FM, again CAS TV. So bit kegeri yegita satai himiten kubata Professor Jack Mwimali and that co-secretary, CEO and CLE Kenya. Quick see and kasartana matian mewe yelo.